We've been adding this to his apple juice. His bathroom issues got to the point where we had to give him enema.
Tuesday, November 17th, 2020, Harvard, Illinois. Police are notified by DCFS that a young child had been taken to Mercy Hospital in Walworth, Wisconsin, and had been found to be severely malnourished. The situation was extremely sensitive, and authorities needed to act quickly to determine the cause of the child's condition. They had planned to visit the family's home, but never imagined what they would find there. I'm Tyler, and this is your daily dose of crime.
Had a child possibly being malnourished.
Okay.
Overnight, basically what happened was they had to transfer him to the Children's Hospital in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And we got update that his reports are so bad, like starving. His child is starving to death. That to a point where the doctor, they gave him a little bit of sugar, and his reaction was such that if they tried to do it at home, he would have died.
Okay.
So apparently there are 2 other children in the home, and another concern with Marvel age was the child, that's the 3rd call I got, and we're afraid that Dad might be a little resistant. 100? Yeah. So I just thought, instead of coming here by myself, because the case is so severe, I was like, I think I need another pair of eyes just to, you know, see what's going on, because for a child to be 6 years old and that ill, they couldn't even report a doctor for him.
A DCFS agent spoke with an officer about what had happened and how they could proceed. They needed to inspect the home and understand how a child could end up in such a critical state. There were also 2 other children living in the home, but they needed to proceed carefully and speak to the child's father to gather as much information as possible.
Hi, can I speak with Mr. Wisner?
This is him.
Hi, my name is Rabia. I'm from DCFS here out of Woodstock. We wanted to talk to you in regards to a report that came in regarding your son.
Okay.
And you have 2 other children, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so I would need to see your other children and the home.
Okay, they're both sleeping currently.
They're both sleeping?
Yes.
So if you can wake them up, that would be great.
Okay, my oldest son, Dylan, he has severe autism.
Okay.
He's nonverbal.
Sure.
He's not going to respond to anything you say.
No problem.
Okay.
I just need to put my eyes on him.
That's fine. Come in the
Okay.
house.
Sure.
Can I ask why this is happening?
So yes, I'm more than happy to tell you. I think your youngest son is in Milwaukee right now.
Yes.
So based on his condition, because the condition is so severe, hospitals have to make a call to DCFS. I mean, he's at a point where there was a doctor that was not being able, like you guys weren't able to report a doctor, severe dental decay. His labs are really off the charts. So he's in a severe condition right now.
I know he is. I know. He has severe autism. We've gone over this, everybody.
Sure.
You know, we've been struggling to get him to eat for.
Okay.
He's slowly been like taking things out of his diet for years, and we haven't been able to get him to eat anything but he eats crackers, and that's all he'll eat.
Okay. But see, again, that's why we're here, just to.
I'm upstairs.
Okay. Thank you.
BMS Wisner, the child's father, answered the door when authorities arrived. He appeared unaware of the situation and was clearly confused by the DCFS visit. He sensed that something was very wrong and seemed genuinely concerned. The officers explained the circumstances and the reason for their visit. Wisner appeared uncomfortable giving answers and gradually became more nervous.
He's not going to get up.
Yes,
so let me explain a few things.
Sure.
My youngest son is on a really bad schedule. He's been going to sleep at like 7 o'clock in the evening and getting up later in the day. So we kind of keep everybody on the same schedule. Our kids are homeschooled. It works out for us. So that's why everybody's sleeping right now.
Okay.
23 years old, severely autistic, nonverbal.
And was that again was gone?
Dylan Rogers, yes, he's my stepson.
26.
Yeah, my 13-year-old who's high-functioning Asperger's can verify anything you tell me.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Is this sufficient?
Yeah, it is.
Can you come in here?
Sure.
Do you have to turn the light on?
Yes, I do have to see him. Thank you so much. Do you want me to turn off the light? So, part of the home. We just document, so you have running water, everything's good. I'll just take a picture. Thank you. So I guess I'll tell you a little bit. One of the concerns was that they said that the child didn't have a doctor.
Wisner explained that his 23-year-old son has autism and his 13-year-old son has Asperger's. He pointed out that their responses might be somewhat limited because of this. He also gave reasons why the children were asleep at that time, but none of what the agents observed seemed to alarm Wisner until they brought up the fact that his 6-year-old son had apparently never received proper medical care.
He has a doctor. It's been about 2 years since he's been to the doctor. We had to take him to, and I just called him today because I wanted to know if he agreed with like some of the things the hospital were saying as far as like his electrolytes or whatever, which you can call Dr. Giese at Caring Family.
How do you spell that?
It's a weird, it's Giese or something like that. But it's pronounced Giese, and he's at Caring Family in Crystal Lake. If you just Google Caring Family, Crystal Lake, Dr. Giese,
sure,
you'd be able to speak to him.
Okay.
You can verify that I called him and spoke with him today. I was very concerned about he's got electrolyte issues.
Well, I mean, they were saying his iron, his
everything's super low.
Everything is.
If you come downstairs,
sure. I'm just going to document a little bit while I'm up here.
That's fine. Go ahead, sir. My dog's in the park, but
okay, no problem.
Okay, so we've been adding this to his apple juice. Okay, we keep apple juice because this is like the one liquid that he drinks. This is a multivitamin mineral that we've been trying to get him to drink.
Sure.
This is the pediatric shakes that we've been attempting to get him to drink, trying to fix his nutritional problem. There's the cup that it's in.
Yes.
You see, we got food in the fridge.
Yeah.
Drinks. We're trying.
No, I know. That's why we come. I don't want.
I understand.
Yeah.
Wisner claimed that he was aware of his son's condition and had spoken to doctors. Still, he didn't appear to fully grasp why the boy's health had deteriorated so severely. The agents realized this when Wisner showed them what his son actually consumed and what kinds of processed foods he was regularly fed.
You know, and this is the other thing. Okay, this is the only thing he's eating.
Yeah, they said that
crackers. I've got boxes and boxes. There's more in my pantry because it's the only thing I get him to eat. And we go to the store sometimes, there's none there. So I've always got like 8, 10, 12 of these boxes of crackers because it's the only thing I can get him to eat.
Any allergies? Any that you know
I'm aware. No.
He hasn't had any reaction because the concern was yesterday that when they gave him a little bit of sugar, he had a very severe reaction to the sugar. So that leads to someone thinking he's being starved. So
okay, that's, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And see, that's another thing. It's like he used to, the only other thing that he used to eat was, he would eat peanut butter M&Ms.
Yeah.
Okay. And he would stop eating those.
Okay.
And we would keep, this is his cracker bowl, which is empty because I'm going to wash the dishes. But that's his cracker bowl, and we keep a small little container out here. This is where he sits most of the time. This is where he likes to play. This is like his area, really. And we keep a little container candy out here because he would like just munch on them. Right. But like if he's eating anything else besides crackers, you know, at this point it's worth it. But he won't even eat the little candies anymore.
Okay.
He's like just cutting everything off.
Okay.
I mean, I love my kid.
Oh, of course. That's not the question. It's like why are his levels so off?
Apple juice, pediatric shakes, Cheez-It crackers, and chocolate were the only things the boy was being fed. That alone explained his extreme reaction to sugar and his severe malnutrition. The DCFS agent was deeply alarmed to see Wisner genuinely did not seem to understand that this kind of diet was destroying his child's health.
We may have you take the kids to the doctor, the 13-year-old. Okay.
I just talked to Giese today. I told him as soon as Sydney's home and we get him settled after he's out of the hospital, I'm going to be calling and making an appointment. I just had to the doctor not even a month and a half ago.
Okay, we may need you to take him in considering the circumstances.
That's fine.
So I'm going to talk to my supervisor.
I can take them both at the same time if that's...
Yeah, let me see what my supervisor says. And not even the supervisor, like her boss, our area administrator. What he says, he may want you to take him as soon as possible. Like, today or latest tomorrow. I'm just telling you what I know. Or if I tell him, hey, when...
I mean, I can make an appointment, but I'm not going to take him to, like, just to the doctor. I'm taking him to my kid's doctor.
Sure. And then I'll relay the message to see whatever they say. And if they have any other questions, I'm going to tell them, like, what I found. I spoke to your son and what the situation is, and I'll be right back, okay?
Back to my
Like right
house?
now. Yeah, I'm just stepping outside to my car.
That's fine.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything, I mean, unless they are, you know, great, but I feel like, with the exception, I mean, the 23-year-old, I can't do anything about that. He's an adult. 13-year-old is verbal. He's corroborating what, there's food. Clearly there's food. Their home is immaculate.
Yeah, compared to some I've seen.
Yes, yes. So, and Dad is cooperative.
Okay.
We were fearing that he wasn't. So I think we're good, actually. I'm just going to do literally what I said. I'm going to call my supervisor, let him know what's going on. I mean, he gave the doctor's number, and, you know, we can only go from there.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Nothing. Okay, awesome.
Officers concluded that the main issue was the type of food available in the home and the way the children were being fed. Wisner was fully cooperative with authorities, and based on the environment, there was no indication of intentional abuse, nor were there signs of physical or verbal mistreatment. This was a clear case of serious child neglect where the parents had ignored their son's health in favor of giving in to his demands without understanding the consequences.
Sure.
Because there could be a plethora of reasons for that. As I said before, I mean, this is not, it's question worthy, but
honestly,
I don't know.
I brought the officer in the first place because I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to find?
Sure.
You know?
Oh, of course.
But
no, we're happy to do it. You know, I just, we gotta just take a little extra precaution here.
Of course. I mean, he's a nonverbal 6-year-old.
He's nonverbal.
Yeah.
So he doesn't speak at all. Okay.
And apparently there's a 23-year-old with a measure.
Okay.
Come in.
If that's okay, just for a second or two, is that all right? My name's Carmen Sack. I'm a detective with the city. Let's all get in before the cold gets out.
Yeah.
From what I understand, I've been informed about what's occurred or what the investigation is kind of leading into. Just a couple. I want to do a meet and greet with you. What is your name, sir?
My name's William Wisner.
Okay, nice to meet you. I'm Carmen. Like I said, my first name's Carmen. My last name's Sacco. Just to do a quick meet and greet with you, it shouldn't take more than a couple minutes. A couple follow-up questions that I want after being informed of what's going on. The number one thing that piqued my interest, what I heard. So there was about a 2-year gap between medical visits. Is there a reason for that?
It's just that he was probably like almost 5 years old the last time I was there. So like all of his vaccinations were up to date at that point. And he's been, there's like a big gap from like 4.5 to I think somewhere around 6.
Okay.
And then when we moved in here in March, that's when the lockdown happened.
Sure.
And we've just been trying not to do much, especially with kids outside the house. And my wife has been, she was diagnosed with cancer in 2018.
Okay.
So she's still undergoing treatments. Cancer's gone, but it did a lot of damage to her kidneys.
Still at risk.
So,
I understand.
yeah, she's highly at risk. I haven't worked since April because of it.
I understand.
Speaking to an investigator, William explained why the youngest child had rarely attended medical checkups since they had moved. He also shared the growing challenges the family had been facing. His wife, Margaret, had been diagnosed with cancer in 2018, and due to the COVID-19 pandemic, her treatment had continued under high-risk conditions, making things even more difficult at home. As a result, William had become the primary caregiver for the entire household. It was clear that life had not been easy for him, but that did not excuse the mistakes or the neglect of his children.
And I'm not coming in here to beat you up over it.
I
I'm not.
understand.
I'm really not.
I know, you're just doing your job.
And it's something that, like I said, given what's happened in the last 6 to 8 months with everything else in the county, as far as things like this kind of go, we have to take a couple extra precautions. That's why I'm
And
here.
honestly, if it wouldn't have been for COVID, we would have taken steps much earlier with Sydney, because when we moved in here in March, he was still relatively healthy. I mean, he wasn't really eating any better, but it was really somewhere around mid-September and September when he's autistic, which is the big problem.
Okay.
So he's already got eating issues, bathroom issues.
Sure.
His bathroom issues got to the point where we had to give him an enema to try to get him to go and have a bowel movement.
Right.
And ever since that point, it's just been a downhill spiral. It messed his stomach up so bad. He didn't eat for quite a few days. He lost like 8 pounds. That was like around the end of September. And then we tried to do like a multitude of other things to try to help him go to the bathroom, none of which worked. And then it seemed like he got better for a little bit. And then that's when like we were trying to like add something else to like replace like nutrients and stuff with pediatric shakes. And we've been giving him the multivitamin for a couple of years as a supplement to try to give him the stuff that he's not getting from normal food. But after the past couple of months of what's been going on with him, it's really been hard.
So what prompted, was it last night that he went up to the hospital?
Not last night, it was yesterday morning.
Okay, and what prompted the trip up there yesterday?
Because he hadn't urinated in 13 hours.
Wisner revealed that his 6-year-old son has autism and frequently struggles with eating and using the bathroom. It appeared that both parents had previously tried several treatments and therapies to help the boy with his challenges. However, in recent months, his condition had worsened, eventually leading to the emergency hospital visit. By the time they arrived, the child had already been suffering for 13 hours.
Well, it had been like 10. It started like, so 2 days ago, he didn't go to the bathroom for like, it was like 8-10 hours. And it took a lot of coaching and Sydney, come on, you got to go to the bathroom. He finally let go and he went to sleep. So then he got up, he urinated like he normally does. And then he didn't pee again for like 8-10 hours. And we're like, come on, buddy, you got to go to the bathroom. We have to take you to the hospital. And he just wouldn't go. So we took him to, we started in Lake Geneva, the hospital in Lake Geneva, and then they transferred him from there in an ambulance to Milwaukee, because by the time we got there, it had been 13 hours without any urination at all. I knew that was an issue. We've been Googling, trying to like figure out what to do, and I'll be honest, I'm like scared of COVID with his health and not having nutrients. I know his immune compromised just as my wife is, and it's like terrifying to think to have to take a kid out and your wife out, and this, now they're both sitting in a hospital together. And
that's why I don't want to be here very long. I want to, that risk is always a thing. We have to mitigate it as much as we can. Like I said, I'll probably reach out to you here in the future, the next day or so, moving forward from this. I understand. So Sydney's still up at the hospital, correct?
Yeah.
For your wife.
He may get released tomorrow or the next day, so I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Is there any other exams or anything been done with the 13-year-old with Clark?
What do you mean by exams?
Has he been looked at by a doctor or anything? Have they spoken with you about that yet?
Well, she said something about it. I told her I've already spoke with the kid's pediatrician earlier today because I was concerned about some of the things the hospital was telling us about Sydney's electrolyte levels and whatever.
Yeah.
So I called and I left a message with a secretary or a nurse or somebody, and they marked it as urgent. And he gave me a call back, but we pretty much already had everything like figured out by then.
Okay.
And I told him on the phone, right? I told her she could call and verify this, that after we got Sydney home and things were settled, that I needed to get Clark in there for, he's past due for a checkup also because of COVID.
Sure.
We just haven't been. I took Dylan because Dylan was having like a cough issue. Like when he laid down, he was like coughing a lot. We didn't know what was going on. It had gone on for like about 2 months, so I took Dylan in to see him. And then he ordered an x-ray. We went to the Harvard hospital and they did an x-ray on him. They couldn't find any reason why he was coughing, and now it pretty much seems to have just gone away on its own. Okay. But I mean, she said we may have to take them both to the doctor, and I said if that's what you need, I'll call and make an appointment.
Okay.
It's not a big deal. I'll do whatever you guys need me to do.
Cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, we do appreciate it. Anything else comes to mind, like I said, call the station. I'm the only detective that we have, so call the station, ask to speak with the detective. If you can't remember my name, just say, let me talk to the detective, that's fine. They'll put you through. I'm usually here Tuesday through Saturday.
Do you guys have cards?
Margaret A. Wisner, age 51, and William S. Wisner, age 43, were charged in December of 2020 with aggravated domestic battery, reckless conduct causing a great bodily harm, and endangering the life and health of a child. According to the complaint, the neglect had continued for roughly 2 years. Prosecutors would later file multiple additional charges, and William would be sentenced to prison until December of 2025 in order to pay $3,674 in fines and fees. Margaret was sentenced to 3 years in prison.